On the pole for the 5th time this year, it's Jeff Gordon. There's that number 1 car, Jeff Gordon, who hopes to really do some work and win his 2nd race of 1992.
That overhead shot and this shot you're seeing right here, those motorhomes, they stopped letting them in at 7 o'clock last night. This place has been full.
All right, we're getting ready to go green. Gordon on the inside, Jack Sprague and the Staff America car up on the outside of row number 1. There you see them coming down, a Ford and Chevrolet, bringing the field in for the 14th annual Champion 300 preliminary event to our coverage tomorrow of the 33rd annual Coca-Cola 600. Green is up.
This could be a shuffle. These guys with the Fords, they're concerned about him getting away, and they're going to try their best to hold him back as much as possible.
Chevy puts it right out in front. Going to the top, there's Jack Sprague on the outside from Spring Lake, Michigan. Look at Earnhardt coming up from 10th spot, making a quick move on Phil Parsons on the outside.
Going down back straightaway with a 3 abreast, Ken, getting in the 3rd turn right there.
Now we're riding in that family car, riding with Grissom in number 31. He begins to unlimber that machine. Let's go back to the leaders.
Mark Martin's taking the lead. As they cross the start-finish line, he got a good high run off the 4th turn. He was able to get around Sprague.
Mark Martin drawing away 3, 4, 5 car lengths in that black number 60 as he pours it on down the back straightaway. Going down into that very difficult 3rd turn and harder 4th. The sun has worked that pavement down there, tough to work on. Here you see the Jeff Gordon number 1. And here comes Earnhardt right down to the bottom, getting beneath Ward Burton of South Boston, Virginia. It's Earnhardt on the move in the 5th spot. Martin leading, Sprague 2nd. Looks like Dick Trickle up there in the 3rd spot. On the shakeout, looking a little further back in the field, there you see 4th place. That's Gordon, and right behind him comes Earnhardt.
Well, you're talking about a shakeout. Right behind Earnhardt, the 27 car, Ward Burton. He really wiped that car out yesterday afternoon, backed it in the wall, they repaired it, and it seems like they haven't run pretty good for the race right now.
That's a dicey thing, isn't it? Chance to try to get a car back after you lose one in practice late on the day before. Battle here for 2nd place, side by side on the inside. Dick Trickle, he's had a couple of 2nd place finishes, but he's never won on this track in Grand National. On the outside, there you see that car that's pulling along, 48, Jack Sprague. What a fine racer he is. And down to the inside, here's Trickle drawing away, and Earnhardt coming up through on the bottom of the racetrack. Earnhardt under Jeff Gordon in the number 1. The number 3 continues to move, and here comes Gordon in number 1, as well as Burton in the 27 beneath Sprague.
Burton seems to be pretty confident with his car, even though they had that type of damage. He's running the car real hard first of the race.
14 Oldsmobiles, 13 Chevrolets, 5 Buicks, 5 Pontiacs, 5 Fords, making up this 300 field. Now take a look at this. That's Dick Trickle in the 2 and the 1 car side by side in the battle for 3rd spot. Here's how they look up in front. There you see Martin in the 60 with the advantage. Dale Earnhardt right there knocking on the door, and then a good battle for 3rd. Back there in that 5th spot now. There you see Bobby Labonte in the 44 as he pulled up around some cars.
Looks like Mark Martin's car is really strong down the straightaway. And there's Trickle right on the inside of Jeff Gordon, making a run right on the bottom. Good move.
Dick Trickle, as I mentioned earlier, had a couple of seconds here, stays in 3rd spot. There's Earnhardt in 2nd as they come down out of the corner. Let's take a look at this battle for 2nd place. Look at Earnhardt come up on the outside of Trickle, and here comes Gordon in that Ford. Whoa!
Trickle made a strong move to the inside, got under Earnhardt, and when it did, it moved Dale up enough that Jeff Gordon got under him also. It looks like he's going to be able to clear Dale and get back.
The Ted Condor car with Dick Trickle at the controls looking good, and here's Jeff Gordon wheeling right back into that Baby Ruth Ford, owned by Bill Davis, fighting with Earnhardt back straightaway. The battle for 3rd. We've got a big incident. Gordon getting back into it. Gordon's been up and down like a yo-yo all through this race. He started up in front, slid back. He's having a day of it. There you see the battle for 2nd spot. There's Earnhardt trying to fend off young, 20, 21 years old now. Just a baby, but boy, can he drive. Back with Mark Martin, the leader, and there's the interval back to the 2nd and 3rd place cars. Still Earnhardt right there with Jeff Gordon in the number 1. Now let's go down to the pits and meet one of those drivers in that big incident over in turn 2.
Well, Shauna Robinson, your car is all torn up, but you're okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. It's good to be walking away this time. We were you know, going right through the crash, and Ricky Craven came down on the right side of me, and that put me right into Tracy Leslie and just tore up the Polaroid One Film Oldsmobile pretty bad. But we were handling just excellent. I was just taking it easy and going underneath them, and you know, it would have been nice to have a long day for once.
And they were looking at this race to potentially put a sponsor on for the rest of the year. It's going to have to go those few laps that they win.
Unfortunate race for Shauna Robinson. Looked great out here in the consolation. Made a move yesterday in the last 3 laps. Put her right up into contention. Passed about 3 cars as they got down to the very final moments of it and got herself a qualifying spot. But it all came to naught over in turn 2. Here's Earnhardt, defending champion, trying to win it again. Fighting up there for that position. Take a look at this. Here comes that number 1 car. Right down to the inside comes Jeff Gordon. And here comes Earnhardt right back after him. Second place at stake here.
Most of the Winston Cup guys have seen that move 100 times over. Jeff Burton just saw it for the first time probably. As soon as you pass Dale, his trademark is to drive right back under you, but it looks like he's going to make it stick anyway.
Earnhardt tries him on the inside.
Almost made it stick.
He may be the intimidator, but he's not intimidating Jeff Gordon in number 1 at least a little bit. Gordon right back around on the outside in 4. Jeff Gordon in number 1. What a show he is putting on with Earnhardt in a battle for second position, while Mark Martin continues to draw away. There are now 46 laps complete, and among the leaders, Martin stays first, Gordon second, Earnhardt third, Todd Bodine being shown in 4th, with Dick Trickle in 5th, Sterling Marlin 6th, Dale Jarrett in 7th, Ward Burton is in 8th, Kenny Wallace in 9th, and Michael Waltrip in 10th. Schrader just outside that top 10.
As far as the competition you've seen on the racetrack, I know you weren't in the race that long. Who looks the toughest to you?
Well, I tell you, you know, Mark Martin's looked tough since we got here this week, and he's leading the race and drawing away from him. Jeff Gordon looks like the only one that might be able to run with him.
Let's take a look at the interval between this Winston Cup star, who is just blasting the field, and the guy who currently is in second spot. Number 1 is still being shown in second. Jeff Gordon's car is well back from the number 60 as they round the 3rd and 4th turn. He is just leading the field. How do you feel? Should those Winston Cup guys be out there? If you feel they should, it's 1-900-740-7550. $95 per call, 18 or older. And there you see Jeff Gordon fighting the race of his life for this youngster to get himself into victory lane out here. Doing a good job in number 1. A lot of Grand National fans excited about him and excited about the changes of fate for him. He's been a Ford driver, about to become a Chevrolet driver for Rick Hendrick. And Rick Hendrick has taken a beating about this, which I don't think is very fair. Right?
Well, there was a lot of flack about it. Let me tell you what, Rick Hendricks sees this young man's talent. He's got a lot of good racing equipment, a lot of race team, a motor program that's one of the best Chevrolets in the circuit. So Jeff Gordon's probably going to be a big factor in Winston Cup racing as soon as he moves over there.
Well, there he is, the Grand National star, young Jeff Gordon. Ford running in 1st and 2nd. General Motors has 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Kenny Wallace, that's a Chevy, 10th. But the Fords are leading for the moment in Grand National racing. It's taken a long time for them to get to this point in Grand National. But with the likes of Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon, they're tearing this field apart.
National champion. With 30 laps to go in this halfway segment, he was 10 seconds away from being lapped. And right now, Mark Martin is just about on his bumper. He's been fighting an ill-handling race car. It's been loose, as well as an engine problem. He'll be looking forward to this halfway break.
Take a look at this. Something to miss on Mark Martin's number 60, putting out a plume of smoke. Jeff Gordon's going to inherit 1st place.
Maybe a burned piston or something. I'm not sure.
Is that a design problem? Is it stuff you guys are working on for these 6-cylinders?
No, it just happened. I can't, we hadn't done anything different all year, and we've had real good luck with our engines. We've had problems with other things. It's just something that happened today.
All right, we're down to halfway. Just about to lap the 13th place car. Grissom was number 1. They've thrown the caution out of the field to roll them, get them ready to come on to pit road. It'll slow them down a couple of laps. These are counting laps, which will make 1:02 officially the first segment, with 98 when they come back out and crank them up again. But for the moment, the story is Jeff Gordon's Ford against all those GM products. Stay with us.
Good thing for this series, or would it be better to let the series stand on its own at this point? Again, the number to call, 1-900-740-7550. And Neil, what they're able to do to these cars is just change 4 tires. They're able to do anything they would ordinarily do on a pit stop. They can change the wedge, but they can't do a whole lot more than that. Jeff Gordon, maybe you'd like to change your engine after Mark Martin blew up. Are you worried about the heart in this thing?
No, not at all. You know, our motor's running good. We've tested it quite a bit on the dyno. We've had real good luck with our motor so far this year, and so I feel pretty confident with it. The car's working great. We made a lot of changes this morning that we didn't know whether they were going to work or not. It's unfortunate for Mark because we really had him covered, and I was trying to reel him in. I think I had a shot at reeling him in. Passing him was going to be one thing, but he didn't have us all covered. I mean, me and him were really running good, and now it's a shame to see him out because I really wanted to race with him.
Jeff Gordon.
5th in points currently behind Kenny Wallace and Joe Nemechek, Presley and Bobby Labonte, and he's only 20 years old. What a career he's going to have. Let's go down to Randy Pembroke. There you see the car that's currently leading in the event. Let's go right to Randy Pembroke.
Well, I'm down here. Jeff Gordon strapping and getting ready to go again. Jeff, you made a major adjustment. Why would you make an adjustment as good as your car's running out there? Looks like you adjusted the track bar underneath the rear end.
Well, we think we can get the car even better, and we made a very minor adjustment. It wasn't anything major, so I think we'll be even better.
What caused the damage on the rear end, right rear?
Well, the first lap, Jack Sprague didn't give me much room when we went into turn 1, and we just came together with a couple cars. Nothing major.
Okay, it's everybody's in trouble. A little minor adjustment for Jeff Gordon. He's going right back out into the front, I'm sure.
Boy, when you're talking about in trouble, I tell you what, he had a 16.75 second lead, almost 17-second lead. I hope he doesn't get it much better.
Big worry is always over massaging when you get a break like this.
You hate to hear when somebody's run as good as Gordon is. He says, I think I can make my car better. Because everybody else down there he forced their hand. He made them to make adjustments and change chassis settings and all. And it's just going to be I think an endurance deal. Can that car finish the race?
Is that a psych job?
I don't know. I saw him change the track bar. He wasn't psyching. They were working. They changed something under the car for sure. But, boy, I tell you, I think right now the question is how durable is that car? Because the other one went out, the sister car to it. Can this one go the distance? The strongest car and the fastest car is usually really doing a lot of work. Mark Martin drove away from the field, but the motor kind of self-destructed. Anytime you've got a car that is exceptionally strong, for some reason it's making extra horsepower, it's doing this, it's doing that, and it destructs itself through the course of the day. And the name of the game here is 600 miles. That's 100 further than you ever ask them to go, and very few cars will make that distance.
Change the motor a lot to run that extra 100 miles and a little extra research?
You used to say, well, I'm going to 600, we'll back it down a little bit. You back it down a little bit down, you get lapped. So these guys bring 600-mile qualifiers out here and just toss it in there and see who can go the distance.
Beautiful shot of Neil Bonnet, of Jeff Gordon's number 1. Neil Bonnet is the fellow that's sitting alongside here today. All right, we're getting set for a restart here. And there is Jeff Gordon down on the inside. There you see the 44 hooked up on the outside. That's Bobby Labonte. He is running 14th and had been lapped. Getting set to go once again. It's unbelievable how much power this car number 1 had. Dick Trickle's 2nd, Earnhardt's 3rd, Dale Jarrett's 4th, Todd Bodine is 5th, Kenny Wallace is 6th, Butch Miller is 7th, Jeff Burton is in 8th, Ward Burton is in 9th. Those Burton kids right up in the top 10. Morgan Shepherd is 10th, Robert Presley 11th, Steve Grissom 12th, Marlin 13th. And that's the cars in the lead lap. $5,000 bonus went to Gordon as the halfway leader, and they're underway. Okay, this is it. Second section of the Champions Spark Plug 300.
And here's Labonte on the outside. He just got lapped just before that caution came. A halfway mark, and he's trying to get his lap back, and he didn't do it. He's falling on back further. Here comes Trickle. Trickle really making a run on Gordon here. Down to the inside. Trickle said he was adjusting on his seat. It looks like he got the seat feeling pretty good because he's sitting up on the edge of it. He's trying his best to hang on to that Ford.
Ford, Pontiac, Chevrolet. 1, 2, 3. The way they're running right now. Jeff Gordon leading Dick Trickle and Dale Earnhardt down into the first turn.
Trickle's able to stay closer to Gordon than anyone we've seen all day. Mark Martin was the guy capable of just driving away from everyone. It looks like Jeff's car might have moved a little bit closer to these guys.
Pittsboro, Indiana's Jeff Gordon. A lot of you folks saw him at Saturday Night TV shows last year. He's about the midgets. Now here is Dick Trickle trying to devour him in these Grand National stock cars as they come back to the line to complete lap 107, a bird's eye view. Here comes Trickle down to the bottom. How about that for a shot?
Boy, making me dizzy looking straight down. It's better in the car. There we see that banking really flatten out. Dump them on that flat part of the racetrack. Cars move out a little bit. Here's Earnhardt making the move at the same time with Trickle.
Need to get somebody over, have a little chat with the folks on the number 1 car and see if he's backing up and waiting, or there's a problem there. You had that big lead, and all of a sudden you got those 2 GM cars hitched up and gone. And you see right behind them Dale Jarrett in 4th. He's going to be a threat before this is over. Dale has won here in this race a couple of years back, and that number 18, the Interstate Battery car, is a real challenger. Then the lap car is out there bumping the boundary.
Here I go start armchair quarterback in this thing, but they said they moved that rear track bar. That track bar tightens the car up. See his car push up high off the corner right there? Whenever you lower that track bar, it makes it tighter. The only thing I can say about that is later on that will get better. It should get better as the race goes.
About 40 laps from now, let's see what happens. Here's Dick Bergen.
I'm with Bill Davis, the car owner for Jeff Gordon. You changed that track bar. You sure that was a great idea?
I think so. It'll take our car a little while to get going. It won't take off quite as fast as these other guys. We get some laps on our tires, get them hot.
You don't seem worried at all.
We're having fun. We're running.
Talking about having fun, this little black car is nipping at the 2 car. Earnhardt hadn't led the race. The other guys have. He's wanting to sniff of that lead and see what it feels like.
Jeff Gordon, the number 1. This is his 3rd performance here in the Champion Spark Plug 300. Best finish, 18th, 1991, just a year back. So he's let those other 2 go for the moment, and he'll settle in how to run down.
I'll tell you what, Gordon just drives his car right down at the bottom. He got in behind Dale. Like Dale's car took off away from him. As he got in behind him, took a little air off his car, and his car got away.
Jeff Gordon, during the break, told Dick Berggren that he thought he would have had something for you in the second half of the race. Do you think anybody could have caught you?
No, no way. But I can say that I think Gordon's probably going to have his way with the field now. But
trying to get a lap back every time this happens. The guy on the outside is working on that lap. He was able to hold Trickle through 1 and 2, but looks like Trickle's getting away from him now.
Take a look at the green and black with the orange numbers. Strange color combination, but it's working right now for Dale Jarrett, maintaining 3rd in car number 18.
Well, Dick Trickle, under the caution flag a little while ago, was watching his gauges, and he didn't like what he saw in the electrical department. There's a possibility that the alternator is going bad, as Randy Pemberton pointed out, but they're not sure that that's the case. Here's what happens when the alternator does go bad. The battery goes down. When the battery goes down, the ignition begins to fail. Right now, Trickle is leading this thing, is running on all 6 cylinders. The engine is very happy. But the worry is, as we get close to the finish of this race, will the ignition system hang on, or will it not?
Remember that Trickle qualified 6th here in his 3rd 300. For the moment, he has a 1-car length advantage. They made some adjustments on car number 1. They were willing to give up a few spots on the start. They're back to 2nd position. Right now, you've got a Pontiac in 1st and a Ford in 2nd in the 14th running of the Champion 300. And there on the outside is that 18 car going to war with Todd Bodine, and Bodine getting the best of it. Todd Bodine in number 34 slips down to the bottom. Look at this battle up in front. On the outside, Gordon in the 1 just rolls that Ford up through around the Pontiac and goes back into the lead.
Was Mark being prophesizing to us here? He said Jeff Gordon will have the field to himself. I think he knew how strong the other car was, and he just drove around like it was second field.
There's Todd Bodine, 28 years old. Racing family in the 34. He's had some bad misfortune in this racetrack. Lost a couple of good cars. But last October, Todd Bodine in those red and white colors came home in 8th spot. He's 3rd right now. And those 3 are drawing away from Dale Jarrett in 4th. Mile and a half, high bank, 24 degrees. Charlotte Motor Speedway, home of the 33rd annual Coca-Cola 600. Don't miss it tomorrow, 1 o'clock here on TBS. 33 years ago, they ran that first with me, a little behind in getting the work done on the track. They lined them all up with Fireball Roberts, Jack Smith, Curtis Turner. Randy Pemberton is standing by with Dale Earnhardt again.
We're down here with the champ, Dale. Tough day for today. What happened out there finally?
Well, it broke something in the engine. Not exactly what, but sure what. But that's the way it goes. You know, the car's running good. We're just having a good time. you know, I think Gordon and Trickle are going to be strong, and Gordon especially. And you know, he pretty much can go where he wants to go when he wants to go. And tough to beat somebody with that much car.
Looking forward to tomorrow, Dale. Looked at the press notes, and you picked Richard Petty as a possible favorite tomorrow. What about yourself?
Well, why not? He out-qualified me. You know, Richard, I tell you, it's you know how things go in cycles. It's due for something big to happen. It'd be big if Petty won tomorrow. So let's see what happens.
He is a Richard Petty fan. We were talking to him last night, and there's no doubt about it. And here's a Bound's car. That's Bound. That's the second Bound brother that's in trouble. 98 up on the end of pit road, and caution's going to come out to pick that machine up.
There's Jeff Gordon back in traffic. This is when he's really got to use his head. When you've got the strongest race car on the track, you just got to take your time. There's a car sliding real high back here in 3 and 4. That Brecky. But Gordon is really going to use his head. He knows his car is capable of taking the lead. You just got to be careful, get there, and not roll the fenders back on it and get it all beat up, getting back to the front.
That's Allison up on the outside of the 9, the 75. Butch Miller just in front of him. Field rolls back down through, and out in front jumps Ken Schrader. Remember the call Neil Bonnet made a few moments ago? Now some very good decision-making on the part of that Schrader crew. Well, they've got him out in front for the moment.
There's Gordon just kind of biding his time. Right, just pick them off one at a time, mile and a half.
Battle for 5th, and here comes Trickle down to the inside. Right with him comes Jeff Gordon in the 1 as they move beneath the number 8, Burton. Jeff Burton's car hanging right in there.
Now, these two cars have different options. There was Trickle just kind of flying through traffic. Trickle knows he's got to try to get to the lead first because Burton can hold him off. Jeff Gordon has got a good enough car that he can take his time to get there. Trickle is going to the front just as hard as he can and trying to get there before Gordon does.
And there you see Trickle in the number 2 down on the bottom beneath Bobby Labonte, closing in on Butch Miller in the number 75 on the back straightaway. Butch Miller in 75 is running in 3rd spot. The 2nd position continues to be Bobby Labonte's 44 as they shuffle him around in there, and he slides back now. That'll put Miller up another spot. Here comes Trickle with him. On the outside, Phil Parsons in the 29 car. Leader is Bodine in 34.
We can see Parsons' car get a little bit loose up 3 and 4 and let 3 or 4 cars get by him. He wiggled right in front of that pack of cars coming up through there.
Schrader's lap car is the 2nd car in the pack.
Schrader actually looks like he's able to pull back up there and he needs to try to get that lap back before Gordon gets there. He might have the ability to take it away from Bodine, but Gordon's going to be hard to keep a lap down.
Meanwhile, in 3rd is Trickle, 4th is Gordon. Let's get back up front here. There's the 34.
Butch Miller challenging for the lead right now.
75 down on the bottom. Butch Miller, the Michigan campaigner. Todd Bodine from Chemung, New York, the 1 car from Indiana. Wisconsin campaigner. Who says this is the Southeast sport? Take a look at that.
Butch Miller's one of these guys that's graduated out of the short track. Let's try it 3 deep on 4.
Squeeze him a little.
I was just talking about how we were going to use our head to get back there, and our head almost got squished in between 2 cars.
So number 2, Trickle, goes back into 2nd spot. Jeff Gordon is in 3rd. Todd Bodine is in 4th. Maintaining 5th is Bobby Labonte. We've got one blowing, losing a motor. Coming down, getting set for a restart with 143 complete. Dick Trickle from the Winston Cup ranks in 1st, the Grand National driver, Jeff Gordon. If he wins, there's a $60,000 bonus if he wins from the pole as a Grand National driver here today for the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So a lot of extra incentive for the white and red, the Baby Ruth car of Jeff Gordon as it gets into the back straightaway, maintaining 2nd.
Well, the 2 top drivers are watching each other to let them determine what their pit strategy is going to be. Last time around, Trickle watched Gordon. He did exactly what Gordon did. This time, Gordon said, if he wants to run with worn-out left side tires, I will too. And that's why he stayed on the racetrack. They're just watching each other.
Dick Bergman's report. Here you see car number 2, Trickle, and number 1, Gordon, fighting for 1st. Bobby Labonte is in 3rd. Ward Burton is 4th. Kenny Wallace 5th. Todd Bodine in 6th, and Butch Miller back in 7th.
When they're making these judgments like this, they're playing off of each other. If he goes with used tires, I'll go with him. What they got to be careful for, I saw Butch Miller, who was just leading the race, a couple of guys behind him did put tires on. they don't need to get so concerned with each other they overlook the competition and one of those other guys slip up in there on them.
Now look at Gordon move out there as if he wants to take that high line coming down across the start-finish line.
Yeah, we heard of several guys say he can go wherever he wants to on the racetrack. He'll get a guy thinking inside. Next thing you know, he drives that forward right on the outside, out by the wall, and goes right on around him.
Joe Nemechek in second with 14.75. He needs to get back out if possible. Green is on as they come around to complete lap 152. And it's still Wisconsin, Dick Trickle against Indiana's Jeff Gordon. And Texas's Bobby Labonte runs in third as we get this thing back underway.
And just as always, here's a guy trying to get a lap back. There's Phil Parsons trying his best to get that lap back out there on the outside.
In a long time since Phil Parsons won in Grand National, won at Bristol, Tennessee years ago. He'd love to get back in this lead lap, and that Matchbox car has had a good run thus far. And looking very stout right now.
Here's Jeff Gordon trying to work his way around Phil so he can take a shot at Trickle up leading the race.
29 car is in 12th position, Phil Parsons. There's the 44 in third spot as Parsons comes back another spot. Pretty hard to deal with Dick Trickle in number 2 and Jeff Gordon in number 1.
Now here's Labonte back here. We saw him a while ago on that caution make that real strong move and got a lap back, and it was worth a mile and a half to him. Now he's sitting here running in third position with a chance to be up there and lead the race. Getting that lap back is really paying off for him right now.
Look at this other group in the chase, trying to overhaul those leaders, but they've got it the way they want it. Dick Trickle looking for his first win in Grand National Racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. First win at Charlotte, just over Jeff Gordon as they go down the back stretch and Rory Jones will run in order through 150 laps of competition.
Did you hear Earnhardt say earlier that maybe they can wear him out? Well, Trickle's job now is to try to make Jeff Gordon run that car as hard as possible. I don't know that they can even outrun him, but maybe you can wear him down. But he sure hasn't been strong all day long.
You can say that, but how do you do it?
Well, you just run every lap harder than you want to run it. You run all over the racetrack. You make it hard for him to get around you. You drive 9 miles off in the corner further than you want to go. You don't worry about 30 laps. You don't worry about saving tires. This guy behind you right here can beat you if you do it straight up. You got to go do things out of the ordinary to try to beat him. You got to make him run his car harder than he wants to.
Well, here you have a guy who has 3 decades of experience and a 20-year-old. This kid wasn't born when Dick Trickle was winning, his second 100 or third 100 race. And it's a matter of a guy with a lot of ability in this number 1 and a guy with so much knowledge. Oh, we've got a little bit of trouble down here in 4. And here they come racing back to the line. It's Trickle in the 2 leading the charge, and he'll stay up on the point with Jeff Gordon in second when we resume this race.
And Jeff Gordon, the youngster out of Indiana, who has been really dominant here in the second half of the race, challenging Dick Trickle for the lead right now. Jeff Gordon is 5th in the Baby Ruth Ford with 1,397.
Down we come for the start at lap 161. Dick Trickle's in the lead, and remember, there's a $60,000 bonus resting on car number 1's ability to pick up 1 spot if Jeff Gordon in that white Baby Ruth car, the Ford, can do some business out here. For the moment, in the back straightaway. It's car number 75, Butch Miller, off the pace and slowing down. Once again, Phil Parsons trying to make up his lap yard, leading that front pair, and he gets it sideways in 4 and gets it back.
Well, he's been right there all the time trying to get that lap back. If he gets the caution right now, he will be back in the lead lap with these guys.
For the moment, Phil Parsons has done just that. He is running in 12th position, and he's made up his lap. Can he stay there? That's the issue. Here comes Trickle. And here comes Gordon.
That's probably the biggest Matchbox collectible toy you've ever seen. They're the people that make all these little collector's items, and he's right in front now.
That sponsor, Phil. Ooh, tight running. And down on the inside, they touch. I want to see that one again. That was amazing out of turn number 4. Jeff Gordon on the bottom of the track. He had the breeze in through the side window, gathers it up. He's back in front. Dick Trickle, discretion was the better part of valor for him. He backed out of that thing a little, or we'd have had a 3-car jam session right down the straightaway among 2 leaders in a lap car. Wild racing.
And there went that luxury of having Jeff Gordon behind you.
Take another look at this.
Now here's Phil Parsons trying to get that lap back. Trickle ran up on him real quick. Decided to go the inside, but Jeff Gordon is already there. Okay, they get together a little bit. They slide up the race. Same deal we saw with Bodine. They hang up, they start up. Trickle had to get his nose back out of there. It would have been a big 3-car pileup.
And that shows you just how good Dick Trickle is. You saw it there at 170 miles an hour. He had one decision that would have kept him going, and about 80 to 150 decisions that could have knocked him out of this thing, and he made the right call.
Because he's still got a chance to do it now. A crazy move on the racetrack, you eliminate yourself, and here he sits right now with still a chance to come back and win this race.
He took a pretty good punch.
Yeah, but somebody like Trickle, that might just be enough punch to wake him up. You got to hit him pretty hard to knock him down.
Well, here he is running 3 car lengths back, and all of a sudden, it's Jeff Gordon, who had sized it up and decided to make his move to the bottom. And about that time, Trickle started down, and you saw the result. Incredible racing. 165 laps are complete. Michael Waltrip's number 30 is coming back on the track, and maybe going back to the garage area. If he can turn the front end, yeah, the right front wheel. Look at that. The wheel is all bent out of shape.
Front end's knocked off of the tie rod's going. He can't even get it turned into pits.
Todd Bodine stays 3rd. Bobby Labonte is in 4th. Morgan Shepherd is in 5th. Sterling Marlin in 6th. Dale Jarrett in 7th.
Dale Jarrett is the guy that I really thought we'd see something from here. He stopped, got tires while ago. It might take him a while to get back, but he really ran the leaders down earlier. But Gordon right now just out there where he wants to be, strolling in the front.
33 laps to go, this time by.
I tell you, when you run one of these V6 motors, it's kind of like lighting a stick of dynamite. It just depends how long the fuse is. And we saw a few of the fuses burn out on these guys. And they said they're not concerned about this car here, but every one of these motors, it's a toss-up if you can make them go the distance on these 300-mile races.
Again, we have 11 cars now shown in the lead lap. We have 167 of 200 laps complete. A Ford is out in front, and it's the only Ford showing. No, it's one of 2 Fords. Morgan Shepherd's in 5th. So there you have the leader. There you see Jeff Gordon in front. And let's see that interval back to the 2nd place car. There's your leader. And look how he's pulling away from number 2. That's Dick Trickle in the Pontiac, now in 2nd spot. $113,000 at stake for Jeff Gordon if he wins this race. Came off the pole, led it halfway, but he's got to keep it cranked up. Pit road.
I would say it was ignition. They're jumping in the car. That's the only thing in there they work on.
Well, Jeff Gordon just radioed his crew and said, I'm going to get out of here. I want to get in clean air. He about had enough of racing side by side after that 4th turn jingle where he took the lead. His car owner, Bill Davis, said he hopes this thing stays green all the way. Turns out that the longer Gordon's car runs, the faster it runs. The other reason to want to keep it green, Bill Davis says this guy Trickle is just murder on restarts, and they don't want to have to do a restart situation with Dick Trickle. They're looking for a green flag all the way to the end.
There's the interval.
Well, down here in the Dick Trickle pit, the crew a little upset over that bumping incident that Dick Trickle had with Phil Parsons just a few laps back. One of the crew members came down to Trickle's pit and they asked if Phil could get in line, and they said no, and then the bumping incident occurred. No problem with the Trickle car. He's just a little upset inside the race car.
Well, I tell you what, sometimes when you get upset, you put down good laps. I think that Trickle's plenty capable of sitting in that car with a cool head. He might be mad about what happened, but he's plenty capable of running what that car needs to do. He's just right now situated. Jeff Gordon says, I'm checking out here.
A high percentage of race drivers would not have been able to make the move to save that car. That looked like something you would have done on a half-mile track instead of on a super speedway. That was one of the best Dick Trickle moves I've seen ever on a super speedway.
I can understand why Dick is upset about that. Not so much the incident with Phil Parsons, but just upset that he was dictating the pace that Jeff Gordon ran. As long as he was in front of him, he could make him wait in the corner for him. He could dish him out a little bit, but now he's in front of him. He can't control the pace.
Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway with 20 laps to go here in the Champion Sparkplug 300. There's your leader, Jeff Gordon, in number 1. Right now, it's not exactly a walkover, but it's a walk away from the rest of the field for this 20-year-old youngster from Indiana. Over Dick Trickle, maintaining 2nd place. I want to thank all you folks who've been calling in. It's about, 81 to 19. Keep those Winston Cup drivers out here trucking with the Grand National drivers on these super speedways. You can call tonight, Neil, if you want to change that.
When I get back to the room, I'm just going to call all night and upset the podium. Let's see if I can stack the box in one direction or the other.
We'll give you the results tomorrow in our coverage of the Coca-Cola 600. Todd Bodine stays third, Bobby Labonte in fourth, Morgan Shepherd fifth, Sterling Marlin sixth, and Dale Jarrett is in seventh. As the laps begin to run down here on the 14th annual, remember this is a biggie. This will be the biggest payday ever for Jeff Gordon. Over $100,000 if he can keep it all gathered up here. Jeff, how do you feel about Winston Cup guys driving in Grand National races?
I like the Winston Cup guys being out there. They have the experience that it takes to win on the Winston Cup side, and they also have what it takes to win a Busch side, and we're going to learn from that. And if I can learn more by running with Winston Cup drivers, then I want them there.
You believe that?
How do you learn anything when you got him a half a mile behind?
He certainly got him covered this afternoon.
I tell you,
what a future. 20 years old, and he is something.
What I'd be concerned with is, you know, he said he's going to get in a little bit of clean air. Well, the clean air he's talking about, he's put a straightaway on Trickle in about 6 laps. And, boy, we just saw Mark Martin do that same thing and came up a little short. Hopefully, he knows how much race car he's got under him, because there's a difference in clean air and a clean lap. He's checked that totally.
He's by himself, and there you see the number of laps to go. 4 times this race has been won from the pole in the modern. Not sure we get back into those 70s and 60s back when Twitter milers about it, but of recent, Richmond won it from the pole in 85 and 86. Harry Gant, who didn't qualify today, and Jeff Gordon seems moments away from the biggest win of his career. Well over $100,000 to be collected. But this is exactly at the time in the first segment of the race when Mark Martin, with his sister motor, this number 1, had the whole thing blown.
I sure wasn't going to say that. You're the one that said it this time. Hopefully it doesn't go out, but I'll give you a hard time then.
We're going to stay with you without commercials right through here to the bottom of this race and see what happens to car number 1, the Baby Ruth car. That Ford trying to win out here again.
And he's all over Trickle right now.
There's your leader, looking for his second win of the year, won at Atlanta. Gordon showing 9 laps remaining for the leader. Jeff Gordon in front. That number 1 Ford stays there, continuing to build up a lead. The number 2 car backing up a little, and the 34 coming after him. Bill Parsons a lap down in 10th. Back with the leader another time. Here's Pittsburgh, Indiana's Jeff Gordon, looking for that second Grand National win. Big move up for him. His best finish in the Champion 300 was an 18th just a year ago. Richmond, Gant, and Pearson, the guys that have done it in the modern period. Leader, there is your leader. Jeff Gordon staying well out in front. I mean well out in front. Big advantage as he hammers that car down the back straightaway another time. Second place. Biggest payday. Whoa, in the wall, both cars. Bodine and Trickle loose, crashing as we get down to the end of this one. White and yellow are out on the track.
Checker's going to be coming out this time.
Checkers will come out when they come by. It will be Jeff Gordon taking it home, but it looks like that second position is going to end up in the hands of Bobby Labonte, and it could move Morgan Shepherd to third. Let's sort this one out. Here is Bodine getting fired. He's trying to get back to the line. They're coming back across. Here is Bodine completing that lap. Checkers are out, and it is over in an unbelievable finish. The winner is Jeff Gordon.
I reckon on the last lap, it's unbelievable the way these races have ended the last few weeks here.
For the second time this year, Jeff Gordon has won. I'm concerned about Dick Trickle. There's a group down around that car number 2, and we haven't seen much movement out of the car. 20-year-old Pittsburgh, Indiana's Jeff Gordon flies to victory in the Baby Ruth Ford here in the Champion Spark Plug 300 this afternoon. At the finish line, Bobby Labonte will get second. Morgan Shepherd will come home third. Dale Jarrett fourth. Let's go right down to victory lane at this moment. Winning car pulling in.
Where do I need to go? The hospital?
Yep.
Let's go to Dick Bergen right now, standing by. with a 20-year-old winner in the Champion 300.
Boy, and he's a real happy 20-year-old winner. That should be no surprise, but the way he's bragged about this race car all day long on his radio to his crew, he just kept saying, good car, good car, good car. You can see some more of that going on right now. The enthusiasm of this young man behind the wheel. We were a little bit worried because that was the same kind of conversation Mark Martin was having just before his engine blew up. Thought maybe that might affect Gordon, but it sure didn't. Here he is in victory lane. You see it going on right now as he's beginning to get himself ready to get out of the car. He's still got the tape in his ears. That's for his earplugs so he can hear his crew talking to him. He can't hear us now. Can't hear anybody. He's on the way out of the car within moments. Jeff?
Him in the car. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's Jeff Gordon. Come on out of the car. Come on.
All right. He's going to stand up. He's going to stand up.
Jeff's going to stand up. He's going to wave at the crowd. There we go. There's the enthusiasm. All right. Your wildest moment must have been coming off that fourth corner when you got into the jingle with Dick Trickle and with Phil Parsons. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, he was running really strong, and I knew it was coming down to the last few laps. I mean, there were still 20 laps to go, but Dick was running real strong. I didn't know if I could get by him. And Phil, you know, he was trying to get his lap back there, and Dick was battling with him, and I saw him get loose, and also Phil Parsons, and I went to the bottom. I knew it was either, you know, win or lose right there, and that was where we won the race.
How scary a moment was that?
It was real scary. I mean, we about lost it, but hey, sometimes you got to hang it out to win these races. I'm going for it. I'm going for the win. I'm not going for second.
This is the oldest car in your stable. Don't these things wear out?
This is the best car we've got in our stable. It's won twice now on super speedways from the pole. I can't say enough for this car. I tell you what, all the controversy that's been going on, these guys, I mean, they gave me everything that they had. I gave them everything I had. And no matter what happens, we're going to win race the rest of the season, try to win this championship.
Biggest payday, biggest day in your career.
Unbelievable. From the pole, I mean, I really didn't think it could be done, you know, and it was just our day. I mean, again, from Atlanta, it was our day. Today, it was our day. I mean, Mark gave us a heck of a run. Dick Trickle gave us a heck of a run, but, you know, can't say enough. I mean, we did it, and that's what counts.
And they are all grinning. This is still a team sport, even if there's controversy, as Jeff Gordon just told you. His biggest day, this 20-year-old is going to have some more big days and a great career yet to unfold.
$113,000 big this day. A Channel Lock Victory Lane interview with Jeff Gordon, successful here this afternoon in the Champion Sparkplug 300. More from Charlotte in a moment. Averaging 127 miles an hour, Jeff Gordon has his biggest win ever, and a 20-year-old from Indiana has his biggest payday, $113,000. The celebration continues. What about tomorrow? Who's going to end up there tomorrow, Neil Bonnet?